Good afternoon, and in this edition of You Don't Know What the Fuck You're Talking About, I'm going to discuss military service and what it's actually for, what the general public perceives that it's for, how the military trains its citizen soldiers, good citizen soldiers, and how that's actually impacting the state of affairs in this country. So as you look around me, you'll see a few things here and there, and many of you are already making assumptions. You're already making these predetermined decisions in your mind about who I am and what I'm about. You're taking your initial observations of seeing my uniform, seeing an American flag on my sleeve, picking apart that I'm white and I'm a man, and you can probably identify over this shoulder the silent majority stands with Trump sign underneath the sleeve of my dress blue uniform back there, as you can see. I appreciate you guys joining me this afternoon. It's going to be an interesting conversation. I recently finished up speaking with Adam Kokesh on his show, Adam versus the Man. If you have not checked it out, go over and check out Adam Kokesh. He is a Marine Corps combat veteran, activist, libertarian, and fellow podcaster slash whatever. All right. Same thing I'm doing. Okay. He just probably makes money at it and I don't. And the numbers just drop off immediately. It's funny. The numbers will run up. I believe that Facebook is censoring my reach. It wasn't unusual for me to have hundreds of people on my feeds at any given time, and now either I've become far more flaccid in my speech, or in fact, Facebook is doing what many of us believe that they're doing. And yeah, call me a right-wing conspiracy theorist, but I'm not right-wing, so whatever. What's going on, Steve? Greg Parsons, thanks for sharing the comment there. If you guys don't know Greg Parsons, go over and follow him. He's done some fantastic work in regards to veterans' disability benefits. He continues to do so. He's a bit of thorn in my side, but he's a smart guy, and he knows a lot about military disability and how it's federally protected underneath 38 USC 5301, I believe it is. Brian Kenter. Also follow Brian Kenter. If you don't know Brian Kenter, that's three times I've said his name. He's a very intelligent guy as well, knows a lot about the judicial system. He's been locked in battle with them for many years now. I think about 12 years. So I'm going to read you guys some things. These are letters from my military retirement. 20 years in the military. These are some of the letters that were presented to me at my retirement in Great Lakes, Illinois. And we're going to start with, in no particular order, this just happened to be the first one that I opened up. This is a letter from the governor of Illinois, Asa Hutchinson. Of course, probably rubber stamped by one of his aides or signed by one of his aides. I don't know. Maybe Asa Hutchinson signed this. I don't know. I don't want to judge the man because I don't know. He is the current governor and has been since March 21st, 2016, I take it, when this was signed. Congratulations on your retirement from the United States Navy on August 31st, 2016. For 20 years, the United States Navy has benefited from your expertise, dedication, and service to our country. Take pride in knowing your commitment and unwavering professionalism has contributed to the success of the Navy mission. I would like to offer my best wishes to you as your Navy career concludes, and I thank you for your outstanding contribution to Arkansas and to the citizens of the United States of America. Now, I got this letter from this governor because I had been a Navy recruiter in the state of Arkansas from the year 2001, late 01 to late 04. Thank you, Governor Hutchinson, for the very kind letter. Oh, here's one from the governor of the state of Georgia. Let's read this. From the governor of the state of Georgia, let me open it up, by the governor of the state of Georgia. because my first duty station was in Georgia. Some of you are seeing machinist mate Benjamin A. Winderriedel for the first time. Yes, that was my birth name. And were it not for the obvious, well, you should be able to figure out why I changed my name. In all reality, I was raised by my maternal side of my family, my maternal grandparents. There's a great Chicago Tribune article out there about why I changed my name if you want to read more about it. From the governor of the state of Georgia, it gives me great pleasure to join your friends and colleagues in congratulating you on your retirement from the United States Navy after 20 years of service. The freedoms and liberties we are blessed to enjoy are a direct result of your service and sacrifice. Your record of conduct, performance, and devotion to duty reflect your to the highest standards of the military profession. It is that kind of ardent patriotism that makes the United States the beacon of democracy and liberty for the rest of the world to follow. On behalf of a grateful state and nation, I thank you for your service. Having served, I understand the sacrifice you have given to our country, and I greatly appreciate your service. I count you among some of our nation's most honorable and upstanding citizens, and I wish you much success in the years ahead. Signed, Nathan Deal, Governor, State of Georgia. Thank you, Mr. Deal. Thank you for that very kind letter. I need to get my light over here. It's freaking awful. You see how it's kind of coming back and forth? That's part of my fault. Oh, look at this. This might be my favorite governor in the whole wide freaking world. I ran against this guy for governor of Illinois. I should have presented this during my debate. Military retirement certificate. There we go. See, the media never shared any of this when they were portraying me as a deadbeat father. Good old Daily Herald. Good old Sun Times, Chicago Tribune. Good old DePaul Register, whatever the fuck that college paper was. In grateful recognition upon your retirement from the United States Navy, your more than 20 years of honorable and dedicated military service has created a lasting impact. The mark that you leave behind will serve as a foundation for the future. You have earned the respect of your colleagues through your professionalism and dedication to your country. You have represented your state admirably in the Navy and have truly exemplified steadfast devotion to the most cherished of American ideals, service with honor. Signed, Bruce Rauner, Governor, State of Illinois. Presented this 15th day of June in the year of our Lord, 2016. Thank you, former Governor Bruce Rauner. Ran against that guy. Look, right back there in that photo, right there in the middle, there's the governor. There's me standing next to the governor. How about that? Let me just grab it. For those of you, oh, I'm stretching with my headphones. Oh shit, it's Velcro. That shit just happened on a live feed. Hold on. Jesus Christ, I broke it all to shit. What? The frame's a bucket of fuck. Shit. There it is. I got the important part out. Just had to break the pecan to get to the frickin' meat of the nut. Look at there. There's me standing next to Governor Bruce Rauner and tons of fun, J.B. Pritzker. Down here, dyslexic when doing this on video. Look at there, J.B. Current governor right there. Former governor right there. Oh, maybe I'm next in line. Maybe we're hopping around here. We went Rauner. We went Pritzker. Maybe next is Cash Jackson. Who knows? But that letter I just read a moment ago before I smashed my picture frame all to hell was from Governor Bruce Rauner. Oh, there we go. Hold on, put this way. Bruce, man, you got memories, man. I mean, you go way back. Let me put our photo, mine and old Brucey's photo together here in his certificate that he sent me. What did you do? Oh, here's another one. State of Washington, Office of the Governor, May 20th, 2016. Dear Petty Officer Winterweedle, Vinza Vizel, I am delighted to congratulate you on the occasion of your retirement after 20 years of dedicated military service in the United States Navy. I applaud your outstanding commitment to protecting our nation's cherished freedoms and to upholding the highest standards of your profession. I hope that you take great pride in all that you have accomplished as a member of the armed forces. The skills you acquired over the course of your career required self-discipline, perseverance, and a personal commitment to excellence. All Americans owe you and all of our brave men and women in uniform a debt of gratitude for your devotion to duty. We deeply appreciate the sacrifices you have made on our behalf. Please accept my best wishes for a happy and rewarding retirement. Very truly yours, Jay Inslee, Governor. Hey, got one from a commie. Look at that. Huh? Oh, here's some good ones. Let's see what we got here. What? Who's this from? Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Let's get some of them. Let's read these. All right, here we go. May 5th, 2016. See, I'm getting no comments populating. These motherfuckers, man. They are some censoring pricks. I'm here to tell you. This shit is too funny to have 27 people on the feed. Oh, man. George Bush calls me by my first name. Dear Ben, me and George are on a first name basis. This is from George W. Bush. Oh, man, let me fix... Fuck me. Let me fix my sound here. Look at that. George W. Bush, from the President, Commander-in-Chief, prior. Congratulations on your retirement from the United States Armed Forces. I am proud to have served as your Commander-in-Chief, and I am pleased to join your family, friends, and colleagues in recognizing your career and accomplishments. Throughout history, the dedicated men and women of our military have protected our citizens and preserved the ideals that make our country strong. Their courage and sacrifice have inspired countless people and have helped shape America's character. On behalf of a grateful nation, I thank you for your contributions to our security and to the cause of peace and freedom. Your service, patriotism, and selfless devotion have helped advance the universal hope of liberty at home and around the world. Laura and I send our best wishes for health and happiness in the years ahead. May God bless you and may God continue to bless America. Sincerely, George W. Bush. Hardy Strong Bear, you're the first comment in like 5 minutes. Good to see you, my old friend. Oh, here we go. Here goes another one of my blue ones. Here's Bill Clinton, William Jefferson. Bum-ba-da-bum. Dear Petty Officer Winterweedle, I am pleased to join with your family and friends in congratulating you on your retirement from the United States Navy. You have served our country with distinction and honor, and you can be proud of your contributions to our national security and to peace around the world. I am delighted to send my best wishes as you celebrate this milestone in your years of military service. Sincerely, Bill Clinton. Looks like Rosie. Rosie Clintus. It's Bill Clinton's signature. It just looks like shit. You know what I mean? We got one more. Could have printed his name on here since it's hard to read his signature. That's Barry. There's Mr. Barack Obama himself. Let me try not to be too loud because this is a sound show first, video second. Because if you don't know what the fuck I'm saying, it doesn't really matter, now does it? You can maybe draw a couple of inferences from the few things that I've shared. Certificate of Appreciation for Service in the Armed Forces of the United States of America, MM1 SS. That means Machinist Mate First Class, Submarine Warfare Qualified. The SS means I served on submarines and qualified on board them. MM1 SS Benjamin A. Vinzevizel. I extend to you my personal thanks and the sincere appreciation of a grateful nation for your contribution of honorable service to our country. You have helped maintain the security of this nation during a critical time in its history with a devotion to duty and a spirit of sacrifice, in keeping with the proud traditions of military service. Your commitment and dedication have been an inspiration for those who will follow in your footsteps, and for all Americans who join me today in saluting you for a job well done. My best wishes to you for happiness and success in the future. Signed, Barack Obama, Commander-in-Chief. I have just read you 3 presidential letters. 1, 2, 3, and 4 letters from governors thanking me for my military service. You're welcome, America. Not that I needed any thanks. America is being duped into believing that their service members are in fact defending the Constitution. Myself included. I was duped into believing that I was defending the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And they do this through a variety of ways. Beginning with the recruitment process. They're using men and women, recruiters, that they send back home to their hometowns to reel them in, or to small towns across America and our large cities, to reel in young men, unsuspecting young men like myself. I did it. I'm guilty. Take me out and hang me with the rest, I guess. But I woke up. I woke up to what was happening. After I went through family court in Illinois and Lake County, treated like a criminal. Military service didn't mean jack diddly shit to Judge Joseph the Peon Salvi. And ultimately, it has led to, because of my outspokenness, I only expressed the First Amendment right that I fought for 20 years. That's what that fucking piece of cloth, that fabric back there, that's what that means. That uniform, all that gold, means that I was pretty much behaving myself for 20 years, right? I was a bit of a hellraiser, as well, you can probably imagine. But I did well enough to get through 20 years in the military and get all these freaking trinkets up here. And I even got that Stand With Trump sign while I was still in the military up in Wisconsin, whenever he was running for office in 2016. Actually, it might have been right after I got out of the Navy. I think I had just retired, actually. But anyways, they don't teach the Constitution to our service members. And I don't know why fucking people are mad about me saying this. I'm not shitting on you or your service or that of your father or your grandfather, your nephew, niece, uncle, whatever. I'm not shitting on their service by pointing out the fucking obvious. And the obvious fact that you don't want to address is the very problems that we're dealing with in this country. I am presenting you with facts. As somebody who spent 20 years in the military, I recruited for the Navy. I was a drill instructor or a recruit division commander. I ought to have a little red rope up there on that sleeve to signify that, because we don't wear those fancy mount me hats that the fucking Marine Corps wears. Okay, we got to wear this little red rope. It goes on our shoulder. An aiguillette. And so I'm presenting you with evidence, not just merely anecdotal, okay? I am making a good faith assertion that the military still does not teach the Constitution. I'm not in the military any longer. I've been out for 4 years. That's not that far removed from military service. 4 years isn't that far out. Many of my friends are still in and advancing up the food chain. They're now senior chiefs, they're master chiefs, they're commissioned officers. And it's disappointing to me for them to have seen my struggle for as long as I've been in it, and none of them are talking about supporting and defending the Constitution to the degree that it's intended. They're not addressing exactly what I'm saying. And I'm going to just get louder, more vocal, more in your face about it until they start doing it. The military is paid by you, the taxpayer. Question, yes or no? Do you want government to waste your fucking money? Okay, I think it's a pretty easy answer. No, we don't. All right. Do we want government to do what they're there to do, what we pay them to do? I think we're all going to agree, yes, we want them to do what they're paid to do. Okay. The military, every single solitary service member from the chief in the Navy, from the chief of naval operations, from the CNO, okay, or the secretary of the Navy, all the way down, and go from the commander-in-chief, our president, Donald Trump, from him all the way down to the most junior 17-year-old E1, pay grade E1, that doesn't know jack diddly dick about life or the military or the Constitution. They all got to know it. They're supposed to be supporting and defending it. They swear the oath to support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. Should you, as a taxpayer, be required to fork over tax dollars under threat of force for a service that's being rendered? I don't think that you should. I don't think that if government isn't going to deliver on its promises, that we shouldn't pay a fucking penny in taxes. Not a penny. And I'm perfectly content with fucking using my four-wheel drive and going off-road, and fuck your roads, my roads. Fuck your roads. I'll get a horse. I'll get a camel. Whatever. But people are up in arms at me because I'm saying these things. They don't like it. They think that it's a personal attack on the military. They think that I'm some leftist hack liberal who hates this country, and I need to get... I mean, I had a lady today tell me that I wasn't a real military man like her father. Jesus Christ. If you had seen this lady, oh my Lord. Oof, I hate to think what her mama looked like if those are her genes. Jeez Louise. That was one ugly fucking woman. But the point remains. It's immutable. Why are they not teaching the Constitution to our service members? I'll tell you why. So that they can go abroad or do domestically whatever government tells them to do. Has nothing to do with following the law of the land, because if they were, they would be falling back on the supremacy clause of the Constitution. They would be falling back on and pointing out and saying and fighting and defending and bringing forward in this nation the issues that we're talking about. Family law is the biggest bucket of fuck you could possibly imagine. The entire judicial branch is rogue. You understand? They are doing whatever the fuck they want to do with impunity, and nobody bats an eyelash. The government doesn't bat a fucking eyelash because they're all complicit in it. They're all aware. The FBI is aware, the Secret Service is aware, the NSA, the CIA, they're all aware of what the judicial branch and all of these other branches are fucking doing. They know what they're doing. They don't care. Even when they're members, this is how bad it is. I mean, we are talking about one of the worst forms of government you could ever imagine, because they are seizing our children with fucking impunity, folks, with arbitrary reasonings for whatever they can dream about. They had nothing against me coming out of the military, right? And I tie in my personal case to pretty much every issue I talk about, because that was the launching point for me into state overreach and going, what the hell? If they're doing this, what else are they doing? And they're doing all sorts of shit to the American people. Civil asset forfeiture. They're taking people's property without any conviction. I like this guy, Jason Casebire. Good God, you are a whiny sailor. That's all you do is win and cry. You could at least do me the intellectual favor of spelling out wine correctly, Jason. But you're probably some fucking knuckle dragon jarhead. It's not a wine Was it a whine when our founding fathers in 1776 viscerally asserted our fucking rights as men? Huh? Were they whining then when they penned that Declaration of Independence? When they let the King of England know what we were getting ready to shove up his backside? Were they whining? I bet you they fucking were, you redcoat. That is a 270 ballistic silver tip. Love these things. I downed fucking 3 deer in one morning just a couple weeks ago with these things. Racking and tapping, baby. I was pretty proud of myself just because I hadn't hunted in so long. So at any point in time, Jason, there's a potential that I'm going to go ballistic, like this ballistic silver tip. You know what I mean? You're probably a really nice guy, and I bet you we could share a beer and smoke a bowl together and have some great conversation. And I could pick on you, and you could pick on me. And at the end of the day, we would probably agree, yeah, I'm too old to fucking fist fight you, and you're probably too fat and old to fist fight me. So we'll just drink a beer and maybe agree to disagree on some issues. Because that's what civil masculine men can do. We can just sit down and have a conversation about issues that are impacting our country. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about what is impacting our country and what's impacting our service members and why I'm saying what I'm saying. 22 veterans a day are killing themselves, right? Congress and the Veterans Administration has not had an answer for this problem, and recently they passed a couple of pieces of legislation through the House and the Senate. I haven't followed up yet to confirm if the president rubber stamped them or not. But in none of that did it include addressing the travesties known as family court. Right? Because if Jason is a God-fearing, United States-loving, American flag-waving patriot, certainly he would want the veteran suicide rate to come down and be eliminated in this country. So certainly Jason would be open to information like the 3-year study conducted by the Veterans Administration from 2008 to 2010. Maybe Jason would be open if he loves veterans and the service members so much. He would be open to sitting down and reading this 3-year study. Maybe not. I mean, if he got by in the Marine Corps writing with crayons, this might be beyond him. I don't know. Or maybe he's one of those intellectual Marines that wasn't in a forward company fighting on the front lines. He might have been in the back fucking Facebooking it like he is right now. But if he's a learned man, maybe he takes the time to read said survey and realizes that 14,000 homeless veterans in this country overwhelmingly indicated that many of their unmet needs as homeless veterans in this nation revolved around the issues stemming from family court. He would also know that the average arrears for one of these veterans coming out of jail, debtors' prisons, is over $20,000. And then he might go on to know that it is this cycle of debt and incarceration that keeps these veterans living on the streets. And it is that hopelessness and that despair and that betrayal by their country that ultimately leads them down the path to putting a gun in their mouth and killing themselves. This is the frank, honest to God's truth about what's happening in this country. And politicians don't have the balls to say it. They don't have the testicular fortitude to go, you know what, we're fucking this up at a high rate of speed. We don't have any answers for this. And yet the Trump executive order that said that they wanted to bring in anyone and everyone. I mean, that's really what it amounted to. If you go back and read Trump's executive order on addressing the suicide rate, it was really a wide casting net to say, look, this is a problem and we want to help. Okay? We need to bring all these people together. All these fucking people on these panels and these boards, none of them are living this. None of them, they're not experiencing this. They need people like myself who are in the front lines of addressing veteran suicide. I'm very passionate about this because I struggle with depression. I attempted suicide. I've lost more than 10 friends to suicide, and I want a fucking answer. And so I'm exploring the root causes. Well, what made me want to kill myself? Let's start right there. Family court did. Being apart from my children for 2 years prior to the divorce ever commencing, that made me want to kill myself. Living on people's couches for 2 years while my ex-wife pocketed her $100,000 a year and ruined my career with false allegations, that caused me major depression. And what's the result of all of that? Well, she's rewarded with full custody, as well as a $2,400 to $2,700 a month child support order, on top of 1/3 of Mr. Cash Jackson's pension. All the while, she can withhold 100% complete access to his children for over 2 years. Jason, nobody talked about anything criminal, you fucking incompetent prick. I didn't say shit about criminal, you numbnuts. There are civil charges that can lead you in prison, that can get you into jail for up to 6 months at a time. And then they can let you out and then put you right back in. It's called contempt of court. You see, you're wanting to have a debate with me on an issue that you're clearly not educated on. Now, if you happen to be good at, I don't know, drilling out glory holes in a piece of plywood and getting the correct dimensions, I wouldn't debate with you on that. I mean, you're probably an expert in your field. But in this field, I'm the expert. And I'll debate you on that. But I would just, toss some caution to the wind here, that before you come through my door and you want to debate this issue with me, you better fucking know something about it, jackwagon. Because I live and breathe family law. I know this better than I know most anything. Now, I'm not an attorney or a legal expert, and I never claimed to be. But I understand basic concepts of due process and looking for patterns of offense amongst government. So, Jason, I'm going to pause for a moment and stop beating you up like the redheaded stepchild that you are, and continue down the pathway that I'm discussing here. Is that the service members are not taught the Constitution. They're brought into the military from a 17 to 21-year-old demographic, young men, and in a nation that's got over 25 million American children growing up absent their biological fathers, military service and the structure and the discipline that it brings is appealing to lots of people, young men especially, who yearn for that. They're looking for a strong male role model. It is inherent and natural to us as boys to gravitate to men, to learn from them, to be taught from them. The same as young girls gravitate towards their mothers. James Horton has made a magnificent point here. And this is happening to our service members. It is happening to our veterans. Alienating parents can take off with kids completely, violating the court orders. But if you don't pay them, you go to jail. This is what I'm talking about. My friend Frank has had his children withheld from him, I believe, 24 times. Well, that's probably why it fucking sucks so bad. It's buffering. 24 times this man has had his children withheld from him. And nothing is done. Instead, he was arrested on Thanksgiving Day for trying again to exercise his parenting time with his 2 boys. And service members should be calling this out. Our leadership should be calling this out. The greatest constitutional violations are occurring right here at home. And they're occurring at the hands of these legislators and politicians and judges and police who refuse to enforce, in many states, a criminal statute for withholding or custody or visitation interference. So the police are complicit as well. Your whole government is wrapped up and they are complicit in violating your rights and your family's rights and your neighbor's rights. And where are you at? What are you doing about it? I think that that's a fair question to ask of my fellow man. What are you doing about it? Why are you so pissed off at me and me just saying what the obvious is? Don't be fucking mad at me. Be mad at government. Be mad at them for mismanaging your tax dollars. Be mad at them for sending your son or your daughter overseas to get their limbs blown off, and it's for corporate interest abroad. It's not for this country. It's not for our safety and our security. It's not. That's bullshit. It's for corporate interest. It's for defense spending. It's for the military industrial complex. It's for fucking war hawks. It's for all of these lobbyists wearing $10,000, $15,000 watches and walking around Washington, D.C. with bankrolls of money like this. I've seen it for myself. I know. I've been in the little schwanky restaurants, the little discreet restaurants, and seen what they do. They go into their cigar rooms and they fucking, they scheme against their fellow man. They're not there doing what's in the best interest of America. I feel certain, if I had to guess it, Jason Casebuyer here is another, it's probably old hashtag fuck Steve from the other day. I blocked Steve. He came back for some more, and it's the best part about running your own page. You can just block the toxic, rancid people like Jason who they don't contribute anything to a conversation. Thanks, Anthony, for sharing this. Statutory substantial compliance requirement, 42 U.S.C. 609, rise to individual rights. It was not intended to benefit individual children and custodial parents, but is simply a yardstick for the Secretary to measure the system-wide performance of a state's Title IV-D program, allowing her to increase the frequency of audits and reduce the state's federal grant upon a finding of substantial noncompliance. I'd like to see that. Let's put that up here. We're going to throw that on the screen. Thanks for sharing. So I won't have more than probably 30, 40 tops people on this feed. And I believe that there's something more to what's happening here. I'm powering up my phone here. I want to look at something real quick. So I'm an advocate of if you're a parent who's tried to, especially if you're a service member, look, a service member's got to start putting their feet down. They have to really start saying to their commands, this is bullshit and it's fucking me over. Those who are involved with family law, like what I am. The military is not protecting the service members. They're letting them suffer through it. They're telling them, do what you got to do, but don't make any problems or waves in this command. We don't want to deal with it. Now, I would argue that they shouldn't have to deal with it. But it's their fucking job that they're paid to do, which is defend the Constitution. It's not to hop on a plane and go to Afghanistan and go fight fucking goat farmers. That's not their job. Their job is to support and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and obey the orders of those appointed over them, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. They don't do that. If you're a whistleblower, shit. I've got so many missed calls. I got lots of people I got to catch up with. That's right. Fuck child support. If you are a parent, a veteran especially, if you're a veteran and they're fucking you on seeing your kids, fuck them. That's what I say. You don't owe them 1 red cent in taxes. You don't owe them 1 penny in child support. You don't owe them jack diddly shit. If they are interfering with your ability to parent your kids, I'm not talking about you dirtbags out there who don't want to raise your children, or you're in super sparsely that, you know, you really don't want to have any contact with your kids. I'm not talking about you. Or I'm talking about you. You shouldn't have fuck all to do with this. You should just pay your child support. You just pay your taxes. I'm speaking to the men that want to be involved in their kids' lives. the fathers out there, these veterans and service members who are fighting tooth and nail to be in their kids' lives, and the mother, or if it's reversed, if it's a mother service member or veteran, and it's a father who's withholding contact, they don't deserve one fucking penny from you. The state doesn't deserve one penny. It's organized crime, people. What they're doing, they have organized government and weaponized it against the people. And if our veterans were learning the Constitution and supporting and defending the Constitution, they would be talking about it just like I am. But they're not. Why? One, they're not taught it. Two, ignorance is bliss. We're social creatures. We take the easy way out. I don't know who Melvin is. I chat with so many people and I've got 3 missed phone calls, Bonnie. I don't know when I will get to Melvin. Melvin's welcome to go to my page, though, and schedule some time with me. Make an appointment. Melvin Punch. I want to stay on topic. Help me stay on topic here, Bonnie. You know I got some ADD going. You're not a sperm donor. If they require you to fork out this much money for your kids, you're not a sperm donor. All right? You're an indentured servant. My ex-wife does not need thousands of dollars a month from me. Moreover, she doesn't deserve it. She's withheld contact with my children for 2 years. That alone makes her an awful, terrible person. Awful to do that. It's terrible for her to do that to the children. It's terrible for her to do it to me. But she doesn't care because the courts, Judge Christensen and the other feminists that run our court systems. Jason, I'd love to have a beer with you, buddy. We can sit down, man. We can do a live feed together. We can do one of these videos together and have a frank, open discussion about these issues. Because here's the thing. I believe that most of you are just really genuinely sincere, but then you catch a snippet of something and you take that snippet and you believe that to be the summary of the individual you're listening to or having a disagreement with. My life experiences are different than your own, but I would venture to say we've got a lot of commonalities. And the greatest commonality that we have is that we're men and women who come from oftentimes difficult backgrounds that are just trying to do the very best that we can within inside the constraints of the society in which we're born into. Yeah, we kind of won the birth lottery being in America. Okay, great. I would agree with you there. However, I think it's okay and it's acceptable. Just like if they're taxing you too much or your family, they're going to tax you away from your family farm. You're not a whiner because you're going, hey, motherfucker, that's too much money. We can't pay all of that. The average American doesn't mind paying some taxes as long as it's reasonable and it's used properly. If it's used to benefit their community properly. The average American isn't as libertarian or borderline anarchist as what I am. I'm pushing beyond libertarian straight into anarchy. Okay? That's where I'm going into. It is an open forum, so thank you for joining. Eat me raw. This ought to be interesting. Well, ask the question, I guess. Mr. Eat Me Raw. This ought to be good. I'm waiting on the question. So whenever you send it, well, I'll put it up. So we got to be asking these questions as just citizens in this country, right? I was having this conversation with Adam Kokesh here recently about divine masculinity. He was saying this term, divine masculinity. It's not a term I've ever really used before, but just masculinity. That what were you made for, men? Well, I believe if we just took it's okay to ask questions. If we just took the approach of, with the initial observation, men have more muscle mass. Men have testosterone. They're stronger. They're faster. on average. Okay, not that there's not many women out there who are very strong and very fast, because there are plenty of females I wouldn't be able to outlift and or outrun. Plenty. But the average woman I can. And so we were made for that purpose. It's fucking lighting. We were made for defense, for protecting and for providing. And in defense of our people, right, our family, okay, if I needed to defend my family, right, that's back here on this wall, I would. And I would be the first line of defense for my family because I am a man. That's how God made me. You can believe in just nature if you want. Nature made you that way. And that is the fact of who we are. So how do we go about protecting our country when masculinity and standing up and asserting your rights is criminalized in this country? It is criminalized. Don't tell me that it's not. It is. Your First Amendment right, if you express that like I have, they've withheld my children for over 2 years, people. 2 fucking years. 20 years of service. 2 years I haven't seen my kids. Of course I'm angry about it. Of course I'm sad about it. Natural human emotions when you're wronged. Well, Cash, you just didn't listen. You didn't do what you were told. What the fuck kind of government do you think we should live under, people? What do you mean I didn't do what I'm told? What does that mean? Be specific about it. I didn't do what I'm told. You didn't pay all your child support. Okay, fair enough. I didn't pay all of the court-ordered child support because it was too fucking much from the beginning. I couldn't afford it. No shit, it was too much. Use a little common sense here. You can't take 40, 50, 65%, up to 65% of a person's pay. You can't do it. And expect them to survive and pay all of their bills. Who the fuck, what idiot came up with that? Let me get my whiteboard for a moment. Let's just do a little math, okay? Can we? I need a marker though. Geez, I need a dry erase marker and I'm not going to find one. Because I don't know where my basket of pens are. Now this is happening to your service members. I want you to know this. There are active duty military and reservists right now who cannot afford to feed their children without government assistance. I don't mean their military paycheck. I mean like food stamps. I mean like SNAP benefits. I mean welfare benefits. Because they're taking so much from them. They're driven into poverty, folks. Should our service members and veterans be driven into poverty? Should they be denied access to their children? These are very pressing issues. They're real issues that are happening right now. I am not an isolated anecdotal case. I'm just an extremely vocal case of one issue amongst millions. And that is exactly right. The point is to take everything so you have nothing. Nothing. Then with nothing, you really have no power to do nothing. Therefore, you fall behind. And guess what? No one freaking cares. No one of substance or merit in government who could influence and say, enough is enough. Let's change this. Let's stop this. He's correct. Nobody of that caliber does fucking care. They don't. They think you're an anecdotal, or even if they know you're not anecdotal, they know you're not. They fucking know you're not. Let's just stop saying it. They know we're not anecdotal cases, folks. They know it. They've been hearing about it. They already know that millions of Americans are being destroyed by these courts. They already know. So if they already know and they refuse to take any action or say anything or really do anything about it, what does that say about our government? What is that saying to you? I know what it's saying to me. It's saying to me, fuck off. Don't really care about your problem. We don't care about your problem. And this isn't just in America. This is a good point. It is the nature of the U.S. when it comes to the military. Thank you, Frank the Tank, for weighing in. But this isn't just an American problem. This is happening in every developed nation across the world. This is in the UK, it's in Australia, it's in Canada, it's in New Zealand, it's in Ireland. It's in Japan. This is a prominent fucking problem for people, and especially the veteran community across the globe. I'm in contact, I'm in frequent contact with veterans from other countries. I'm networking with veterans in other countries who are living the same thing and seeing their fellow service members in their countries go through this bullshit. And the mainstream media is refusing to report on this. It's one reason I'm doing it. I founded the Veteran Liberty Network with my friend Frank, Tony, Chris. I mean, because I knew the mainstream media is not reporting on this. We all see it. They do nothing but divide us. Why? The black father in the inner city of Chicago who's not seeing his kids, being kept from his kids, being bankrupted. He's not my enemy. That man is not my enemy. That man is my fellow American. And he's suffering the same injustice that I'm suffering. Senior Chief Retired, thank you so much for your service. I know what BMCS means. And I appreciate you, Boats. We should be ashamed of what we see at the Veterans Administration. We should be very ashamed because they're skirting the fucking issue. And the issue is they are illegally taking military disability pay. Federal law, I don't even give a fuck if the state, if let's just say the Supremacy Clause didn't exist. Let's say 38 USC 5301 didn't even exist. If a veteran who served in the military, whose mind and body degraded during the course of service is then compensated for that degradation, he or she alone should be able to decide. It is our job as parents to decide what is good for our children. That pay was intended, that money, because it's not income, it is compensation. It is not income. The states redefine military disability as income for their calculation purposes. Of course it's for their calculation purposes, you fucking idiots. Because when they report back to the feds that they took your money, the feds give them more money. It cycles right back through to them. Great question, Jason. Is child support based off of income? Well, there's a couple different routes we can go down with that. In the state of Illinois, well, I'll just use mine. So every state is different in how they calculate child support. Every state is different. Number one, we should ask ourselves, why? Why does every state use a different calculation? The USDA uses standard guideline for, I don't know, a variety of reasons. Do they not? There's a federal guideline for foster families, is there not? There's cost of living adjustments based upon where foster care families live and reside, is there not? Yes, there is. Yes, there is. But within state courts and state statutes, like Illinois, here's what they did. Now, the legislation has since changed. Now, not enough to impact me, because I fall underneath the previous law in Illinois, how they calculated child support. It was simply 28% of my income. I think it was 28% of my net income, if I recall correctly. But outside of the child support, then they can add on child care and extracurricular activities, which can add hundreds or thousands of dollars to an existing child support order. So in my case, with my older son from my first marriage, because I was divorced twice, as many service members who remain for 20 years are, was paying $500 a month. No issues there. I paid child support on my older boy for no problem for over 12 years of my military service. No problem. His mom was raising him. I was still in the military. It was kind of understood. That was reasonable. She was doing the work. I was gone. I was deployed most of the time. And so I, paid faithfully my $500 a month with no issue. It wasn't until Illinois, when I went through a second divorce, where it then became, they added on $1,168 for my younger two, which made it $1,668. And then they added on child care in extracurricular activities, which added another $800, okay, which pushed me into the $2,400-$2,500 range. I remember one month it was $2,700 that I would have paid if I paid everything, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't pay $2,700 of my active duty military pay to my ex-wife out of my income. Couldn't do it. Still can't do it. Now, my kids are no longer in childcare because they're 14 and 13. I haven't seen them in 2 years, mind you. And in the state of Illinois, there's some case precedents up there that says that, that supports that parents who are extremely alienated had child support restitution ordered. I'm just not going to fund the terrorist activities against me, and that's what it amounts to. Child support court, custody courts, divorce courts, these are terrorist cells, RICO cells. It's racketeering. They're shakedown activities where they arbitrarily remove children from the lives of fit parents, and that justifies this child support order they put in place. Because many of you dads out there, you're going, look, I wanted to raise my kids more than every other weekend and a few hours on Wednesdays. But the child support order was so high, I had to work 3 fucking jobs. So they blame your absenteeism, Dad, on you being a deadbeat. You didn't want to be there. God forbid if you fall behind on some child support too. Because not only did you not want to be there and you're a workaholic, all you wanted to do was slave for the state. Not only that, but you're also a deadbeat because you couldn't keep up with the redonkulous amount of support that fucking asshole judge ordered you to pay. I want parents to be involved in raising their kids. I want states the fuck out of our lives. Could we agree on that? I don't really care how far right you are or how far left you are. Could we just simply agree that the state is shitting all over you and your family? Could we agree that they're taxing you out of your fucking home? Could we agree that they're taking more of your income than you can reasonably bear? These are all reasons that the Declaration of Independence was signed. Just state fucking overreach, government overreach. Whoever that is, it doesn't matter. If they're a government entity and they are fucking your life up because of piss poor, shitty domestic or federal policy, it's overreach, folks. That's a great one. They impute your income based on future income potential due to military retirement. Great fucking point, Greg. Thank you. God damn, I love you people. You smart motherfucker, you. Based on future income potential due to military retirement. You're exactly right. They impute your income, the potential. They look at you. They assess you. You're like a slave up on a fucking slave trading block. They assess what are you capable of. Oh, you're capable of this, Mr. Jackson. You're going to go make this money. And you're going to turn that money over. And if you don't, I deprive you of your freedom. And if you say anything, we're going to withhold your children for no reason. No legal justification. In accordance with Illinois state statutes or federal, local, or state rules of civil procedure. We're going to violate your due process rights systemically. If you exercise the First Amendment right that men and women died for, we're going to fuck you 9 ways from Sunday, sir, so you keep that fucking mouth of yours shut. That's what they're saying to you. And that's why you shouldn't shut up. And for any bootlicking redcoat out there who says, just do what you're told, Cash, so you can be a dad to your kids, fuck you. Fuck you and your whole lineage of redcoat fucking turncoat family. Or you might just be a coward. You might just be the postman's son. You might have actually came from a brave and honorable lineage of good folks who stood up for the weak and the innocent and believed that man was good enough to do for him and his and just leave his neighbor alone. And these are the thoughts and the emotions that it evokes amongst the veteran community. We're angry. We should be angry. We should band together in a force of fucking sheer anger and discontent. Hold on 1 second. Mama Jackson, I'm in the middle of a show. Do you wish to be on this, or do you wish for some privacy? Because I can't do it right now.
Bad.
No.
My bad.
No, you can chime in if you want to. I'll put you on
What are we
speakerphone.
talking about? Well, I can't talk long because I'm on a mission to the dollar store, but um,
My mother
so
on a
tell
mission
me.
to the dollar store. You guys hear that? Do you need any other
I'm
confirmation about where I come from?
I'm sorry.
What are you sorry? You
What
don't
was the
need to be.
topic?
What are you sorry for?
What's the
No,
top? What's the
I'm just
topic for
sim.
today?
Well, I'm simply discussing how veterans are not in service. The service members are not actually supporting and defending the Constitution, and of course, it takes me all the way back down into the rabbit hole of family law and my case and other service members' cases. So, which you're pretty well familiar from listening to me for the last 6 years.
Oh yeah. As one I've been listening to, the past few days, that is a veteran, and his ex has taken him, to try and get custody of the kids that she lost because of things that she allowed to happen to her daughter, knowingly allowed to happen to her daughter.
Right.
And now she's out of jail, and I do believe the boyfriend or the ex-boyfriend, whatever he is, who was told to not be around the children, it seems that there's a huge possibility that he is, as well as some other shady characters that the children should not be exposed to. And so now he has custody, Dad does, but now that she's out of jail, she's playing the mom card. She wants to be a mom. Well, that's not being a mom when you're knowingly allowing things to happen to your children for money.
Right. Let me ask you something, Mother. Let me ask you some personal questions. This case aside, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole on a case I'm not familiar
That's
with.
fine.
Let me ask you this. You were there. You saw me off to the airport at 17 years old. You saw me off to the airport. Your second child. Now you'd already seen your first off. My older brother Philip. You'd already seen him off to the Marine Corps. So then you watched me get on a plane headed off to Great Lakes, Chicago from Shreveport, Louisiana. Or Great Lakes, Illinois, rather. How does it make you feel as my mother and the grandmother of my young children to see what's happening to me? How does it make you feel as a grandmother, as a mother?
Helpless, devastated, because.
But you're not important, Mama. Hold on. You're not important to these courts, right?
No, absolutely not. I mean, even whenever we went to court and you told Judge Salvi, that hiring a babysitter is unnecessary for these children because I care for my children, speaking of yourself, and if I'm not there, or even if I am there, my mother is there. And this shitbag has the nerve to say, well, I don't know her. Well, I'm sorry, when did you do the interviews of the other bitches that were babysitting my grandchildren?
Oh, right.
Because I didn't get a memo on that.
Right. So what you guys just heard Mama Jackson say is she was in court with me that on one of the many occasions that I was in court, and I was arguing that I can't afford to pay for this child care. I think it was at one of my contempt hearings,
Yes.
one of many, and I was arguing that my mother or myself could provide the child care, that I couldn't afford it. And whenever I said even my mother could do it, I've offered for my mother to do the child care because she lived with us. And the Judge Shitbird Salvi, said, well, I don't know her, as though he had ever investigated or looked into the litany of other babysitters and child care providers that my ex-wife was using at the time. She had 3 or 4 or 5 different ones.
Right, and the whole deal, it wasn't about the babysitters being non-reliable or not good enough or up to standards. It was simply about that's not what he wanted.
Yeah, that's exactly what it amounted to.
And knowing that she wouldn't allow me contact with the children did not bother him in the least.
Nope.
It's devastating. You're helpless. Your hands are tied behind your back, and you don't know what else to do. Unless you want to go ahead and volunteer to wear the bright red jumpsuit that they're going to assign whenever I snap and lose my shit.
Right.
And I don't want to do that, because then what good am I of you or for you, or my grandchildren, if I'm sitting in the big house?
That's correct.
And I'm not going for a short time. If I'm going, we're going to make it a long
We're
time.
going to go for a trip. Well, when's the last time you saw Kate and Kaylee, your grandchildren?
Back during the summer, several
Now,
months ago.
so you've seen the children one time. Now, was it for a whole day? Was it for a whole weekend?
It was for after the court hearing, because you had a court hearing. You were not present, but I knew it was an open court, and I just took a chance and went there in hopes that they would allow me to see the children. And I'm not going to say that Julia was gracious in her allowing. I think she did it to make herself look good in front of the court. But she did allow me to come and spend several hours with the children. I even got to take Caden to the pond unsupervised, and we had a wonderful visit. But since that time, I've tried contacting, and I never get an answer or a response.
So you guys hear that now? So you've had basically.
And I went through the guardian ad litem, as well.
Which was who?
Giving her a heads.
Who was the Sally Lichter?
Sally Lichter.
All right.
I gave her a heads up.
Baby, I'm in the middle of a live feed. Sorry.
Sorry, it's okay.
She's down there yelling at me. I'm like, I'm on a feed, unless the house is burning down.
No, it's okay. Yeah, careful with those words. Yeah, I gave her a heads up, that I'm coming, and of course I'm coming in peace. I just want to see my grandchildren to make sure they're okay, that they're healthy, and life is all right for them. And I did, I was granted that, but it was just for a few hours. And Sally Lichter was, because she did a follow-up call and asked if I had talked with the children anymore, and she was quite surprised that no, I have not been able to make contact. Nobody returns my calls, but nothing was done about that.
No, of course.
Wasn't even mentioned.
Let me ask you this. On any occasions, while in Illinois, or while interacting with your grandchildren, my children, did at any time, are you aware of, was your number or contact information ever removed from their personal phones?
Oh, not during that visit, but on previous occasions, I would give the children my phone number, and Caden would tell me that, well, when his mom finds it, he can't have it because he's only allowed to have her number, and I think Uncle Steven's number and his other grandparents' phone number, but it wasn't appropriate to have mine.
Yeah, not appropriate to have their grandmothers, the woman that they had a close, personal, intimate relationship with.
And before I left for my visit, Kaylee was wanting my phone number, and I gave it to her in front of her mother, and she put it in her phone immediately in text, and I text back right there. And Caden did not even bother because the look on his face said, there's no need to try.
Right.
He's not even faking it anymore.
Right. He knows. He knows.
Yeah, he knows. Absolutely.
Well, it's sad that you, as a mother to a veteran, right, that you don't get the same kind of accolades or respect for maintaining your civility and your ability to watch me suffer, knowing that your grandkids are suffering, and to hold it all together through all of that. I mean, that for any one person, to feel helpless and to watch their child, I feel of a similar way, except, here I am, an adult, 42 years old, and I can't do anything for myself. And you know as well that you can't do anything with the way that they have the system designed.
No, I can't, because even I could go to the house, I could leave here today and drive up there and take a chance and knock on the door, and I feel like the door might be opened, but there's also as much chance that it wouldn't, that there would be an excuse.
Right. Yeah, there would be a reason why you can't see your kids, or your grandkids, rather.
My grandkids.
My children.
But,
right.
but I'm not going to give up. You know, I'm not going to forget about my grandchildren. I do plan on sending them something, you know, for Christmas, but it's going to have to be signed for.
Right.
You know, and I feel sure that sent at the right time, the children will see, well, that it's gifts, and I'll know if they don't get their gifts. I'll know.
Right. Mama, let me ask you this. You know, and Bonnie, let me reassure you that I'm not going to harm myself, okay? You know, I don't know where maybe you got misconstrued here. And I'm sorry that your mom OD'd. But I'm not going to break my mother's heart like that. But you know what? It's a fair question because I did attempt, and I would love for my mother to say, and she can say it publicly, how that made her feel. What did it do to you? Because we've never publicly, I guess, aired it out. We've never publicly talked about it.
It felt as though my heart had exploded and I could not breathe. The very thought of existing in this life without you in it anymore, just there's no explaining it. I mean, there are just no words for the amount of devastation that swallowed me whole, knowing that my child wanted to die or tried to die.
Right. Of course.
You know, it was devastating, and I still worry about that. Not that I believe that you will do that attempt again.
Right.
But I know that it can send you into a depression so deep that you don't allow yourself to breathe enough, and you go into a grieving process where you grieve yourself to death, and that's the same as suicide.
Right. Well, and I think that's one of the scariest prospects that people who go through this are struggling with, is there is no definitive timeline on if or when they will ever see their kids again.
Absolutely.
And I believe that it's that knowledge that causes such tremendous stress inside them. It's that uncertainty, the not knowing, the longing for, you know, for their kids, that
right.
You can't separate that. You can separate the child from the parent. You can take the child from the parent, but you can't sever the connection. And it's that connection, that they have to their children that is so incredibly strong that that's what makes it so painful. It's that severance of that relationship arbitrarily, and they know it. They know in their mind, I didn't do anything wrong. This doesn't have to happen. I don't understand. And it's that confusion and the misunderstanding about why it's happening. They think they think they're an isolated case. They think this can't be happening in America. As a service member or a veteran, you think this can't be, my country can't be doing this to me. And reality sets in, and it's like, and you think you can do more than you can. You're like, no, I was in the military. I'm a service member, and as a masculine man.
Judge Salvi said it to you. I was sitting there whenever he said it. You're standing there with tears in your eyes, begging this man, you know, look, I'm just trying to be a dad. I don't understand why you're purposely making this so difficult for me and my children. I served our country, the country that made you a free man to sit here and do what you're doing, and you're punishing me for wanting to be a child in my child's life. And his words were, well, what made you think you were any different?
Yep.
Because it does not matter.
Yep. What makes me think that?
It doesn't matter if you served. It does not matter if you are, you know, a surgeon. You could be the Surgeon General for all Judge Salvi cares, and he wouldn't care.
Right.
You know, it's not the career or the man that you are. It's the fact you want to be in your children's lives, and if he allows that, he just lost several $1,000s.
Yeah, but I mean,
so did all of his golfing buddies.
Right. Yeah. And I'm so thankful that you were there for these observations, because many of these things, because I was so stressed and I was front and center defending myself as my own, representing myself as my own attorney, doing the very best that I could. And even that, one would think that a judge would go, man, this guy's fighting really hard. I mean, clearly he's learned a little bit about the law. his, I could take and show you guys my first motion to modify child support all the way down to, um, some of my later motions after I'd been doing it for a little while. There's people far better than me, some friends out of Texas and some other places that, that are far better at doing that. These other veterans that have been doing it longer than I have. And, but regardless, you would think that that would resonate and the judge would go, man, this guy's fighting really hard to be a dad. Okay. Is there any reason why he shouldn't be have them equal time? That's what I would be asking myself. Like, hold on, this guy's got a pretty decent record. And his finances indicate that he's really provided for his family through over the years. And a reasonable person would be able to deduce from that information that I was at least, a decent father. And what they're doing shouldn't happen.
And in most cases, from what I've seen, these judges, they're not in family court. They're not there as a family court judge because they don't have any interest in the welfare of the children's how they're taking this. Life was hard enough when the divorce or whatever happened between the two parents.
Right.
The children are caught in the crossfire.
Right.
And the longer these cases go on, the more damaged these children become. And they don't take into account how it's damaging children. And they force them to, we have the guardian ad litem that are supposed to represent the children. They do not represent the children. They represent the judge.
Correct.
And what they know that judge wants.
Right.
They do not, because if they did represent the children, as soon as it was noticed that she was an alienator, that right then should have been said that, I believe these children have got to have a relationship with both parents. It's detrimental to their mental health.
Yeah, absolutely. It is detrimental to their mental health. And we know that. That's the other part, is that as parents, we know this is hurting our kids because then we see it.
And because of this loss of time with you, these children have anger issues locked up inside of them that they're not allowed to express in front of their mother because, then they're going to be on whatever punishment or time out or, and then have to go through all the lecturing and, they don't want to hear that. So they're going to lash out some way, somehow, whether it's drugs or the wrong crowd or hanging out with the boys way too soon,
Right.
Because they've lost something in their life. And there's an empty spot in them that has to be filled.
Right.
And in most cases, they feel it in a negative, horrible way because they've not dealt with life long enough to know how to work through their emotions and what they need to do to fill that void in a healthy manner. They don't have the experience.
No, they don't. Mama Jackson, I appreciate you coming on here. And for everyone who doesn't know, this is my mother, Mama Jackson, and she's probably the best person that I know. I mean, she's got a heart of gold, will bend over backwards, to help people out, give you the shirt off of her back. She'll do whatever she can to help you. And she's extremely wise. She has lived a very, very difficult life. She's endured things that the average person couldn't even imagine living and going through. And she's humble about that. And she's seen her grandchildren, my son and daughter, Kate and Kaylee. She's only seen them one time in the last 2.5 years. And that was just on a chance. She drove 18 hours up to Illinois. I think it was 18 hours roughly to Illinois, just on an off chance that she might be able to see the kids. And so aside from that, though, she's been like me. She's had no contact. And Mama, I just want to give you the opportunity, while I've got you on the live feed, if Kate or Kaylee happen to watch this, give you an opportunity to put some words out there to them.
Well, absolutely. Kids, if you are listening to this, you must know that we love you with every fiber of our being. We will never give up waiting for the day that we get to see you, and I will never stop believing that day will happen. I don't know when it'll happen, neither do you, but we can make this happen. And your dad is fighting not to be away from you because he wants to be your dad. He wants to share all the things that we share together when I go up there to visit him. And it's not that we hate on your mom. We hate the fact that a paid attorney got into her head and helped to make most of this happen.
Right. Yeah, a variety of these bastards now, because
it was a lot of people, guys. It wasn't just your mom being hateful. Other people aided her and helped to manipulate her mind and do the wrong thing. And it was for money. It wasn't in your best interest. It was in the best interest of the Bar Association and the judges involved in Lake County, Illinois.
Well, I know that they love you. We know that. I know that they love me. I know that they love you, and I'm glad that you called and kind of weighed in some of your thoughts today. I'm going to jump off here so I can wrap this up, and I go down here and help Marina with whatever she's hollering at me about.
You do what you need to do. I'm here at the dollar store because I'm trying to Christmatize my front porch, and I had just a few dollars, and I thought, well, you know what? I better get down and get what I want before everybody else gets it.
Well, you Christmatize your front porch. I'll send you a few dollars so you have a couple more dollars there to Christmatize your porch because I gave some to Marina.
That would be awesome because I found exactly what I wanted at Tractor Supply earlier.
Oh, it better not be that 8-foot chicken you were talking about.
No, it is we'll do the rooster thing come back during the spring.
But okay. All right, fair enough.
Right now it's Christmas and things need to be happy and festive, and we've got to maintain our sense of humor and we've got to maintain being human beings.
Well, there's a bunch of people that wanted to tell you hi, and Claire is one, and I think Jeff Larson's on here. My buddy Hardy Strong Bear. They want to say tell you hello and that they were thinking of you.
Well, thank you very much, guys. I appreciate it. It's been great, and I may accidentally jump in on another one, or who knows? I may just pop in one day, and voila, we're both on podcasts.
Well, yeah, we might just do that. that could get bad real quick. Well, hey, I love you very much. Have a wonderful day.
I love you too, and everybody else out there have a really blessed day.
All right, Mama. Love you bunches.
Love you bunches too, baby. Bye.
Now, I'm of the mindset that that's Mama Jackson. So for those of you who just got first introduced to her, she lived with Marina and I for several years there during the early parts of mine and Marina's relationship. And that was definitely, I know that was taxing on all parties, right? It's like having your mother-in-law in the home with you. She's a wonderful woman. She works extremely hard taking care of some senior citizens, and she's just a fantabulous person that's very, she's extremely wise. She's compassionate and caring and just does so much for other people, and it's just such a gentle, kindred spirit. She's got a great laugh. She tells some really awful jokes that she learned tending bar and biker bars for many years there in Louisiana. But it's my mom, and it's the grandmother, the paternal grandmother of my children, and they deserve to have a relationship with her. And Julia, the mother, should be ashamed of herself for keeping our children from such a wonderful, loving person. But on that note, look. I threw up my P.O. box here. P.O. Box 26. I think that's it. Paris, Arkansas, 72855. Do me a favor. Send me... Here's something I want to do. I would like to put your family photos on my Christmas tree. I want to do something a little different this year. Or up around my house. Or I'm going to put them up in my office. Wherever. Maybe I'll put them up back here. Maybe I'll put up a little tree back here, and I'll take down my family photos and put up photos or cards to your kids. It drives me. It compels me forward. Talking to you. Talking about we have to keep talking and discussing these issues. And it makes it real when I see your kids' faces. it makes it really real when I read your words. It really hits home with me, and I wear my heart on my sleeve. Yeah, I know I'm not politically correct, as Jason would attest to, and would love to meet up with you later on, brother, and sit and talk and share a beer. But I'm extremely passionate about people, man. I come from simple beginnings, and from my mother, I inherited this trait. I love people, and I try and do more than I can, or that I should. I take on more than I should, but I feel like I've got an obligation to my fellow man, and I have been unable to get rid of it. Like I want to be selfish. I just want to enjoy my time and do what I want to do and go and see and whatever, right? I just want to be a retired military guy, but I can't. As long as this problem exists and you're suffering alongside me, I can't. So right now, this is what I can do. I can broadcast. I can talk about these issues. I can let you know that I care and I love you and your family. Jason, I sure will, man. I'll send you a message when we're done here. But I want you to know, especially this Christmas season, you're not alone. Okay. And if you think that you're going to be spending Christmas alone, or you suspect it, send me a message. We'll get together. We'll hang out. We'll drink a beer. We'll whatever. Right? I don't want you to be alone on Christmas. I don't want any veterans out there alone on Christmas. I don't want you to go through this holiday season thinking that your country doesn't care, or your veteran community doesn't care, or there's not people who love you and care about you, because there are. You're real, you're human, you're hurting, and other people like me understand what you're going through. And I got to be better about just, making those opportunities happen for me and for you. Because sometimes we're too weak to do it ourselves, right? I've been there. I get it. Sometimes we're just too weak. We're too beat down to get the help that we actually need. But you got to do at least one little piece. You got to let me know, and I'll try. I make no promises. I try and be there for people. I try and help where I can, when I can, how I can. And sometimes, I'm marching through my own muck, trying to get to tomorrow. That's the ultimate goal for today. Just get to tomorrow. Get through today, get to tomorrow, right? But finding enjoyment along the way, learning to live this journey and love my family and love my community and love my country still, but still point out the shitbird tyrants that are up there fucking you and your family over. I think we can do all of that, right? I think that we can line all that up, and I can hunt and I can fish. I can enjoy time with Marina or my friends. I can do these things. I can manage the depression that I deal with in not seeing my children, okay, by talking about these issues, discussing them with you, sharing with you how I'm hurting or how I feel at the moment, and work through that shit. It's tough, man. The toughest of men succumb to being kept from their kids. The very strongest men out there are the very weakest if you hurt their kids, if you take their kids from them. Government knows that. They exercised it against slaves. They exercised it against natives. It's been used overseas. It's used by drug cartels. It was used by the mob, mafia, gangs. Nobody withholds children from fit parents arbitrarily unless they want to fucking torture them. And that's what they're doing to me and you and your kids. And that's why I'm not going to stand for it. I'm not going to sit silently. I'm going to fight every damn day, every inch. And there will be thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of video of me running my mouth. And ultimately, people will be left to make whatever decision they want to make about me based upon the available evidence and information. Mr. George, yeah, you're correct. It is. This message is for more than just the veteran community. And of course, I've got a special place in my heart, right? It's my deep submergence insignia. Pretty fancy little device. Got that for doing some cool undersea research and development work. You won't see many of these. I need to put it back on that uniform back there. But so you got my P.O. box. You guys grab it, send me a letter, drop me a, try and keep the ricin or the bag of dicks to yourself. Or if you mail those to me, fuck it, whatever. All right. It is what it is. Reach out, send me a letter, man. Sometimes it just helps to put pen to paper, get your thoughts out, let somebody else read them. Sometimes it helps just to write them down and just get them out. But if you want to mail them to me, you want me to and if you want me to read your letter on air to your kid, I'll do it. If you got something that you want read to your child this Christmas, send it over to me. I'll put their picture back up here on my wall. I'll read a letter to them. Maybe I can set up a Christmas broadcast here and I'll put up your kids' pictures or any videos or whatever. Whatever's within my technical capabilities. Let's leave it at that. It might just be me like this. Like, I don't know how to pull up my kids' pictures and put them here on the thing. I don't know how to implement them. That's all stuff I got to learn. If I could bring up pictures and videos of me and my kids, I would do it all the time. Yeah, Greg, you probably can't post on my video feed. I'm running this through StreamYard. So you're going to have to either private message me on my page, or you're going to have to... It's supposed to have a private chat option over here on the side. Blue Eye, Missouri. I can't say as I've ever been there. I haven't figured out this private chat option. I've never gotten it to work. Like, there's no names there. I don't know how to search for a name. Anyways, send it over to me. Yeah, Greg, love to see you, man. You guys know I've got kind of an open front porch policy that, give me a phone call, shoot me a message. Hey, Cash, man, I'd love to hang out. Oftentimes, I just have people right down here at the house. We sit on the back porch, look at the pond, smoke a bowl, drink a beer, talk about life. That's what I do. And I guess till the day that I die. Karen Rivera, thanks for just joining us, but I am wrapping up with this edition of You Don't Know What the Fuck You're Talking About. Signed, yours truly, Cash Damn Jackson. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate the great dialogue, and I appreciate Jason sticking along for the ride. I'm going to come up here. Let me find you, bud. Where'd you go? There you are. I just put it up here. All right, Jason. Thanks for tuning in, man. I appreciate the light banter with you, and if you're anything like me, if you're, you can banter with somebody back and forth, trade some insults, and move on with your day and not take any of it personal. Get to know one another and find some common ground. And more than likely, we've got far, far more in common than what we do of anything that's different. So, bless you. Bless all of you. I hope everyone has a wonderful Christmas. Katie, hey, thanks for tuning in. I'm sorry I missed you. One of my best supporters there, Katie Tarbox. She's a wonderful person. Oh, yeah. I got to start working on your guys' letters, man. I'm behind. I've got letters. I'm trying to figure this stuff out, right? Told you guys. But I'm waiting on another delivery. I'm waiting on some other stuff from Amazon so I can get this done. But as you guys can see, man, I'm kind of branching out here. I'm getting out of my trailer park ways, and you guys know I'm born and bred trailer park trash. My family is not trash. They get offended when I say that. They think that I'm insulting them, and I'm not. It's a term of endearment. I love where I come from. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm like a redneck gypsy, if you will. I don't know what you call them. But anyways, trying some new things, man. Trying to learn some new things, do some things different, a little better, refine myself some. I'm glad that the life he never got over 40. That's amazing. I get tired of having to entertain thousands and thousands of people. So thank you, Facebook, for continuing to censor and shadow ban and fuck up my feeds. I appreciate you. And had you not grown up in a fatherless home, Mr. Fact Checker, you probably would agree with me if you would have had a strong masculine male role model that you shouldn't do that to people. You shouldn't shadow ban because you disagree with them or because Mark Zuckerberg told you to. But I know your job's relying upon whether or not you keep my demographics and my numbers down and continuing to fuck me over. Because I share a different viewpoint and I attack people like Joe Biden, who are magnificent pieces of shit that never ever should have set foot in office. Ever. Ever, 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 ever. I gotta get out of here, man. I gotta get back in the woods, get back to camping, hunting, and fishing. I'm out of here, man. I'm just rambling now. It's because I don't want to go downstairs. I know I've got chores. I got stuff I got to do. I'm avoiding adulting. Me and Parlor. Everybody says it's the right-wing echo chamber. Yeah. I don't know. I created a Parlor account, but I'm not using it because it's a freaking hot bag of mess right now. But maybe I should. Catch you guys later. Have a wonderful night. Know that I'm thinking of you, and Jeff, especially my brother from another mother. We will talk soon, big dog. Y'all be good. In my